Hi guys, karibuni sana to the Charity Willy Show. I'm your host Charity, and today we are doing a motherhood series, and I'm joined by an amazing mother, Monica. Karibu sana to the show.
Asante.
Yes, she'll be sharing a story. She went through a C-section, and unfortunately her bladder got punctured. She'll tell us how she discovered it was punctured, what she went through. We are here to celebrate motherhood experiences and respect the mothers. Karibu sana, Monica.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so sorry about what you went through. I understand that it is not easy at all.
Yeah.
So you've delivered the baby successfully through a C-section. You've been taken to the recovery ward.
Yeah.
How did you discover that something was amiss?
After the cesarean section, which went well, I immediately I came out from the theater. I started feeling very thirsty. So the first thing I did when I came out of the theater was to ask for a glass of water.
Okay.
So I drank water, not knowing what had happened. So when I was drinking water, I couldn't quench my thirst. I didn't understand why. But anyway, they took me to the recovery room, the maternity ward. I thought I was okay till when I reached the room, I started having pains, a lot of pain around the kidney area. So at that time, I could not understand if it's the pain that comes after the contractions, or it was
just around the same area.
Yes. So when I was sitting, the pain kept on increasing by the day. So every time I'm given a painkiller, so I'm thinking, this one will end by the end of the day.
No, that suppresses that pain at the kidney.
Yes. Okay. So when the day ended, still the pain kept on increasing despite the amount of painkillers I'm being given. So I started wondering, is everything okay? Then the next day, I noticed that I could not go to pee. I had the urge to pee, but when I go to the toilet, nothing was coming out.
That is after your catheter was removed.
I didn't have a catheter on even after the theater.
You removed immediately. You were taken to the recovery room.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was told to start going to the bathroom, which they usually do as a routine, when I was feeling the urge to pee, when I go to the loo, I couldn't get anything out, despite the feeling the urge.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, why is urine not coming out? And when I succeed, it comes out like 2 drops, and that's it. Yeah. That was less than 100 ml.
Yes.
So when I came back to my ward, the nurses kept coming to check on me to find out if I'm going to the loo successfully or not. But the funny part was, at some point, I started having a swelling around my tummy.
Oh.
So as the day progressed on, the second day now, it started becoming hard, like it's like a stone. It's very hard. So I was like, why is my tummy growing big? Yeah. So I called the nurses to come and check if there's an issue with me or it's normal. When they started checking, they kept on hitting on the tummy to find out, what is this thing that is making her feel like this? But the pains were you could not bear the pain. They were too much.
Even the painkillers couldn't stop it?
No, they could only hold for a few minutes, then it comes back. So when they started calling doctors in to come and check, they kept checking. They're like, we are seeing the wound is healing well, so what's the problem? So back and forth, they were like, apana, the tummy is actually growing bigger than normal. So they kept on checking, just physical checks. Then one of the doctor was like, have you tried to take her to the ultrasound so that we see if there's anything wrong? So at that point, now reality starts checking in. Kwani, what's happening to me? So they took me for my first test, ultrasound. Then the person that was in charge started asking me funny questions like, are you sure you came here with all your kidneys? I'm like,
Oh my God, that's scary.
I'm like, yeah.
You're like, what?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, I have 2 kidneys. So what are you trying to tell me? So she kept quiet. I'm like, so what do you mean? I thought I have 2 kidneys. Then she told me, anyway, let me not insist on a department that's not mine. Let the doctors tell you what's wrong. But according to me, I have seen a lot of fluid around your tummy area. But anyway, let's wait for the doctor's report. So there I am, wondering now. She has left me with a lot of questions. Do I have a kidney? Did they even remove my kidney?
Yeah, that's really scary, considering your stomach was opened up. So
exactly.
So easy to conclude that.
So at that time you have those funny conspiracy theories of kidneys kuuzwa zaidi.
Yeah, because it's a thing now.
So you know, funny enough, the hospital I went to is a hospital that has a very good reputation. So they were like, you know us, we know we do our work very well. So there's no way there could be an issue. But the funny part, nobody could understand what the problem is, because the pain kept increasing, and the more I continued, I could not go to the loo. So they started taking measures of the amount of urine I can pass out per hour.
Yeah.
And honestly, I drank a lot of water, but nothing was coming out. So they started getting concerned. Now, the funny part is nobody took it to consideration to call on the renal unit department to come and check. Why am I not passing urine? It didn't cross anyone's mind. So, second day ends, nothing is discovered.
You're still in the same condition?
Yes, I'm in a lot of pain. So, they started giving me a lot of painkillers. Now they increased the capacity of painkillers. And then the funny part now, I could not now eat. I didn't have any appetite. If you bring food, I look at it, I feel like vomiting.
Yeah, because your tummy is full.
Yes, and now remember I have a small baby that needs to be nursed. So there's an issue already. So they're like, what do we do for her?
Yeah.
So they started giving me glucose. So I survived on glucose actually the whole time. Because I could not put anything in my mouth and it goes through, nothing. So I slept. Now actually I couldn't sleep. I used to walk around the hospital the whole night, the wards. I was like a watchman. I'm patrolling, everyone is sleeping, I can't sleep because the pain was too much. Then they bring me food, I'm like, I can't eat. They're like, hey, how are you going to breastfeed? Then the funny thing, I could be able to breastfeed. I had milk.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, we waited now for the next day. Now doctors started coming in, now more doctors than I saw before. Hey, then I'm like, why are they sending in doctors? When there's an issue. So they start saying she has to go for x-ray. I go for x-ray. The first x-ray they do, I don't know the front part, candle and back. So they check if my kidneys are okay, because everyone's concern was like, are the kidneys affected?
Yeah.
So they look at the kidneys. There was an Indian doctor that was called in. I think he has a private practice. So he's like, according to me, I see the kidneys are okay. Even the ultrasound, we can redo it again and see. Now, I could not even sleep. I used to sit up like this. Because now the pain is unbearable on the sides. Yeah, and it's swollen kabisa, like it's hard like stone. So, I'm being taken for another ultrasound. Now, when the Indian doctor tries to check, he's pressing in. Every time he presses on the sides, it's very painful compared to at the center. So he started narrowing it down. The issue might be actually the kidneys. Has anyone bothered to check more? Then they're like, no, we didn't think there could be a problem because she came in when she's okay. Yeah. So they're like, no, when you do a run of a test, you do everything because you can't take anything for granted. Yeah. So he decides, let me lay her on the bed so that we check now, all of us. So there are 3 experts in the renal unit. So they checked, they're like, oh no, the kidney is there, this kidney is there. So issue is the kidneys are not there. But now the problem is I can actually see fluid around her tummy area and the kidney area. So what is this fluid? Because now they found out the issue is this fluid. Yeah. Now what he did, they had to do a minor operation which was very painful. They had to take an injection, a needle that was this long, around this long. Then they prick on the side so that they extract the fluid so that they can go and do tests on what the fluid is. Because they could not guess it's urine. Yeah. So they succeeded to find a position where they could extract. because they had to like pierce me like 4 times. It was very painful. No, no
So
medicine
sorry,
to
yeah.
calm the pain down. But anyway, at that point I was in so much pain. So any pain, I was good to go so long as we find a solution.
Yeah.
So they started extracting. They filled a whole jug of fluid.
A whole
A
jug.
whole jug.
1 liter.
Yes, 1 liter.
Oh God.
So it's taken now for testing.
Yeah.
Then the doctor said I have to now go for another X-ray. The X-ray will be, they will put saline water inside me. Then they try to see, then they put a catheter.
Yeah.
Then they put saline water inside so that they compare if the fluids are the same.
Yeah.
If the fluid was matching the saline water through the X-ray, that would mean automatically that's urine.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. So the funny part now, when I now went to the X-ray room, another the nurse that I found there claimed to know how to install a catheter, but did not do it well.
Oh my God.
So we are
It's
there.
so painful.
It was painful. So we are there. We are waiting, and then she said she knows, she's an expert. So we are waiting. We are like, why is the X-ray not showing anything? When the fluid is not flowing. Then one of the doctors came and like, you guys, you've put the catheter wrong. Can you do it again? So they removed it and they redid it again.
Yeah.
So at that point now he was able to confirm that the saline water matches the fluid in her body. That means she has urine around her kidneys, which explains her pain on the kidneys.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the sad part was the kidneys were starting to fail.
God.
So they had to now find out why is urine coming out. So narrowing it down, it has to be the bladder, because when you're operated on CS,
Yeah.
the bladder is actually very near the uterus.
Yeah, it's so near.
So conclusion was definitely the bladder has been punctured. Now what to do? Because we don't have time, her kidneys are failing. We have a slim amount of time. So they called in other doctors. I had like I think almost 10 doctors in my ward. Back at the maternity ward, people were like, well, hey, what's wrong with her? Does she have corona or something? Because now everyone is coming, leaving, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm fixing like a room. Then doctors are coming in, going out, X-ray machines coming in, going out. And so many guys are walking in and out. So they were scared. Well, they're like, do you have anyone around with you? I was like, no. Then I was told that now the problem is, okay, we have good news. The good news is we now know what the problem is.
Yeah.
But the bad news is you have to go back for another operation.
Yeah.
So I was like, which news do you want? I'm like, just tell me whichever you tell me, but let's hope it's good news. So the doctor said, now we've discovered that your bladder is punctured and we have to do now another operation to fix your bladder. Otherwise, your kidneys are failing and we have less amount of time to save you. So you need to sign your papers right now, not tomorrow, not after 2 hours. You don't have time to think about it.
Yeah.
It's now. You're thinking like 1 minute, then you sign.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, this is it.
Yeah.
Then now my hubby came in, found doctors surrounding me. No, when he went previously, he had not left us having discovered what the issue is.
Yeah.
So he's walking into doctors. So he's like, hey, Kwani, what's going on? Paka, he was surprised, I'm in the wrong room. So he went outside, then came in again. Then they were like, oh, no, you're in the right place. Just come in and settle down. So they're like, you're just on time. We need someone to sign these papers right now as a witness. Like, someone is going to the operation room right now. Mm-hmm. Are you okay with it? They're like, what choice do you have? You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So he had to sign them at that point. Then they went and started booking the theater.
Yeah.
So that was the most difficult part of that time. When I went, now I was told they have to put me to sleep. Completely to sleep, because now they don't know how long first they will take and how damaged it is. So they need to put me to sleep because they can't tell, and they have to open me up more than before. Hey, kama ushaiambiwa hiyo.
Because people say it's 50-50. Don't know if
Yes.
you wake up again.
I love her. There's nothing as bad you seeing yourself passing out.
When you know you're passing out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're going to come back. I've never experienced it, and I will not wish it on anyone else. So we were there at the theater. Now it's Corona period. Nobody can visit you. So we are just the two of us. So we go. He didn't even come back home. He had to stay till
After the operation.
Yes. And we actually almost left there. So we went to the theater around either 11 at night or 12 thereabout. So we went. He was told to wait outside. So he was told, it won't take long, just relax, you wait.
Yeah, that's what
it will be okay.
Yeah.
In fact, you have the best doctors working on her. Like the best doctors, if a problem happened before, what will stop it from happening again? So we went to the theater. Now, apparently, according to him, because now me I had passed out when I entered there, it took longer than he expected. So every time you will hear a door opening, he was anxiously waiting
to know the answers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now every time a doctor comes out, it's not my story. Then another one comes out, it's not me. Hey, then he started worrying, Connie, what's happening? They told me maximum 30 minutes. It's past even 1 hour, 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes, Connie, what are they doing? As a complication occurred. Then kidogo the doctor came out. Now this is his side of the story. He's like, now, Bwana Sylvester, we have good news. Don't worry. The good news is we have managed to fix the problem.
Yes.
Now, it has taken longer than we expected, but in a few minutes she'll be out. So you can begin to thank God everything went okay. Hey, at that moment you And now back to me now in the theater. Now, after they finished, now they have to make you wake up.
Yes.
So that's the most traumatic experience. So when you start now coming to yourself, they started calling my name. Like, Monica. Then I'm wondering, who is calling my name? You don't know you're passed out.
Yeah. Oh, but you can hear.
I can hear voices. Yeah, I haven't opened my eyes. I can hear voices. I feel like I'm in a very deep sleep. So I'm struggling to also wake up.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing, Monica, where am I? Where am I? Then thoughts start coming in. Like it's like a movie.
So now you start remembering the circumstances.
I'm opening my eyes, I'm looking around, I'm like, wait.
Can you go heaven?
Then the lights are like this on your head.
Now you're journeying to heaven.
So again I hear, Monica, who is calling me?
God.
So I wake up kidogo, then I pass out. Then I wake up again, I hear the name, Monica, who is this calling my name? Hey, kidogo, the dawa starts wearing off, so I'm beginning to gain my consciousness. So I'm looking around, this is the hospital. Who's at the hospital?
Yeah.
Then it hits me, wait, I've gone to the theater. Then I start remembering now everything. Yes, it comes to me, Sasa. Now they were like, congratulations, we finished there. Then you well, you're now okay. Now we can take you to rest.
Yeah.
Now, according to so many people, the healing process, according to many people and them, they expected it to take longer than it did. Immediately after, so like we were out at like, should be 3 in the morning around there. I can't remember well.
So it took like 3 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I finished, I woke up at around, they took me to sleep. I woke up at around 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are you ready to wake up? They asked me, are you ready to wake up? I'm like, immediately now. I'm not even going to rest, Like the nurse tells me, let me tell you, the secret to healing is where you start stretching right now. If you sleep more, you will not wake up from this bed. Especially now that you've been done for an operation twice.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? The pain. Ooh. Okay, let me gather myself and start moving around. I stepped on the floor, my first step. And then she's like, hey, congratulations, you can do it, you can do it. No, I was psyched out.
The second step.
The second step, one. Now that's not the problem. The problem is now waking up from that bed.
Oh, it's just stepping down.
That realization hits you how now the wound is bigger than you thought.
Yeah.
Well, so I stepped down and now I had to walk. So she holds me the first 1 minute. Then she's like, no, you have to walk yourself now. Hey, I'm like, are you sure? The wound won't open up. Yeah, the wound won't open up. And like, no, the chances are very small. So I'm like, okay, sawa, let's do this. I started walking and walking and walking. By the end of 5 minutes, I'm walking okay. She's like, no, you can even go to shower right now. I'm like, are you serious? I can shower right now. She's like, okay, why not? Okay. I was like, okay, this is good. So when I'm coming out from the bathroom, I meet now the doctors that were in charge in the operation room. Hey, they're like, Monica, they are singing songs. Congratulations, our patient is doing well. So I'm feeling encouraged. I start walking. But trust me, the journey was not easy. Even the healing process was not easy.
I can imagine, because even one C-section is so painful.
And now,
I can imagine twice.
During the time, the 3 days before the operation, they kept on giving me, what are they called? These relaxers that make you go for long call.
Oh, the laxatives.
The laxatives. They kept on giving me, thinking I have a problem. Now, it created an issue because I started now diarrheaing. And I was diarrheaing. Like I would go even over 10 times. In an hour, not a day, in an hour. As in, I put anything in my mouth, diarrhea. Because they started worrying now, Monica might have COVID. So they actually had to do a test for COVID on me to confirm I'm okay. Which thank God I was okay.
Yeah.
So now, I thought that was it. Now, since I diarrheaed a lot, I lost a lot of potassium. So there's no way they can replace it faster other than doing putting a fluid in me that has potassium. So guess what they had to do? They had to again to do an operation on me here. They cut me here. Because apparently potassium, if they put it on your hand, it might make, for lack of a better word, itafanya veins zigande. So they can't do it on the hands. They have to do it directly in your vein. So this is the only place they could cut. Yeah. Again, there was no...
Oh God.
anesthesia. There was no anesthesia also.
Yeah.
So they cut me. They put a long, a thin pipe. They put it inside, and then they close it. They had to shona it there so that it doesn't move. It was painful. The doctor is like, no, you're doing it. This is nice. Just wait, just 1 minute longer. I'm like, it's painful. Yeah. He's like, no, you are doing better.
By a needle here.
And let me tell you, they had injected me everywhere, doing tests on me. Yeah. So my veins were numb. Yeah. I had no other place they could even inject. So being told to I have to be injected here, and then I have another one here for glucose. Now I have to breastfeed, so I had pipes running everywhere. So when I have to go to the loo, I call someone, they remove them, I go to the loo, I come back, they replace. So they had to do that bag for, I think, 24 hours, so that they check again if my potassium is on fire. Thank God it came back to normal. So now it's now thinking how to remove the pipe again. It has to be done manually again. They pull it like literally. They pull. You can feel it becoming out. And then they had to put now a pressure pad, and then they close it for it to heal. Yeah. But that was it. After that, now healing was good. I stayed there for I think another should be 3-4 days.
So just like a normal CS.
Yes. And now they had to do a catheter on me, because now they had to wait for the bladder to heal. And the catheter had to stay with it for like 14 days. So they told me you can choose either to stay here, but we wouldn't want you to stay in hospital or go home, of which I now came home with the catheter. So they had to give me counseling, because now my life is changing now. how did I come to hospital? Okay, and
Yeah.
now I'm going home with other issues.
Yeah, especially the catheter.
Exactly. And now it's not easy because now you have to hold it and people are looking at you like, hey, Kwani, what's wrong with her? Hey, you know, bad eyes. It's not easy. Carrying your catheter around. it made actually me feel for those people who have issues with their kidneys and everything. So for me, it was a point of reflection, like the things we take for granted. The food you eat, you wake up every day, you eat, it's normal.
You go to the loo.
You go to the loo, it's normal. Now for me, loo was not a normal affair. It was a battle in itself. But I thank God that everything went well. I came home with the catheter, stayed with it for 14 days. I had support at home, which was good for me. Everyone was supportive. They helped me at least carry on well. I suffered a little bit of trauma during sleeping. I could not sleep for a while. Because every time I sleep, I feel like I'm dying. So I wake up like, wow, my heart is pumping. Then I have to sit down. I couldn't sleep. I used to sit down the whole night.
It's just better you just sit down because now if you sleep.
I was afraid of sleeping. Every time I'm sleeping, I'm hallucinating as if someone is pulling me from the bed. Every time. So it took time. Sometimes I used to think maybe it's because of the painkillers, the strong painkillers I used to take.
Or the anesthesia.
Exactly. But the situation was actually traumatic. But
it's really scary. Like having all those people surround you, going to operation twice. Because even going for operation once, you even think of what if I don't come back.
Yes. And now you have a baby that is waiting for you, so you have to put yourself together and fight. You have no other day to live. So me, I thank God. It was an experience that people would not want it to happen to them, but then God makes us pass through things so that we can also encourage other mothers, because now there are so many people who do not know how cesarean is. They think cesarean is very easy, but they don't take to thought the consequences. The consequences. Because now a cesarean mom never goes back to normal.
No, your body can never go back to the
exactly. But you see people saying I'd rather do cesarean than the natural, and the cesarean people will tell you I'd rather do natural than cesarean, because everyone has different experiences. Mine, honestly, I wouldn't encourage people to do cesarean. If God has given you the ability to just give birth normally, please do it, because the pain is there, yes, but it's only for a short period and you forget about it. For a cesarean mom, it lasts with you a lifetime.
Because even when it's cold,
that wound remains with you forever. You can't take it away. And then now it makes you vulnerable. You can't give birth normally again, because now you're weaker than you are. So
even some physical exercises.
You feel you get back pains, you have headaches, a lot of headaches that you can't control, migraines all the time. And then now blood level, you have to work on it again. There are so many issues, but we thank God for everything.
But your scar means you're a hero.
I'm telling you.
You sacrificed to bring another life.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
It's a pleasure.
I don't even have more words to say. You guys have heard it, and I'm so happy that you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Karibu sana. It's a pleasure to encourage other moms.
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys, that has been Monica's story. Thank you for watching till this point. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.